I saw a lot of movies this year, some great, some not so much. The ones I'm gonna highlight here for you today are my favorites, the kind of stuff I like to see when I'm at the movies or on my couch. These are my top action movies of 2024. I'll start off with some honorable mentions. I enjoyed all of these movies, but they're just not quite top 10 material. I'll start with Joker 2. I was really surprised how much people hated this movie. I liked it a lot. Even the twist at the end, I thought it was great. It was shot well, it was acted well, and I even appreciated the risk of them making it a musical, even though that didn't work out. And you can check out my review to see a little bit more of what I thought about that one. And then there's Monkey Man, which was an all-around badass action movie. It's got Dev Patel, produced by Jordan Peele, definitely worth a watch. And then Bike Riders, I don't know if I'd consider it an action movie, but it's got action in it, so I'll talk about it here. It had great performances from Austin Butler and Tom Hardy. It made me want to go get a Harley and start a biker gang. Austin Butler is someone to keep an eye on going forward, too. He's been in a lot of great stuff this year.
We're being set up, detectives.
Now let's get to the list. At number 10 is Bad Boys Ride or Die. For me, it seemed like this movie was all about redemption in some ways. It had the return of Will Smith after the slap incident. I didn't feel like he deserved to lose his career, and he deserves to be that movie star that we all know. The directors were the same ones from that Scrap Batgirl movie. I think they showed that they're competent directors and have the chops to work on these big tentpole movies. The third Bad Boys movie was decent, but I really had a good time with this one. I thought it had inventive action scenes and camera work. Martin Lawrence was hilarious all through it. Will Smith's son character, Armando, was annoying in Bad Boys 3, but he was pretty badass in this one. Not gonna lie, seems like they want to turn the Bad Boys franchise into basically what we know the Fast and Furious franchise to be right now. And gotta say, I don't have a problem with that. I've got Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes at number 9, and you know I'm always here for an Apes film. Matt Reeves did the previous two, so director Wes Ball had some pretty big shoes to fill. And I thought he turned in a great movie. The apes are thriving generations after the previous film and the death of Caesar. Caesar's teachings are now misunderstood by some apes. The movie has plenty to love, great cinematography and action. I loved the apes characters. But after so many films with this premise, this one doesn't seem quite as inventive as the previous films were, but it's definitely still a dope entry. At number 8, I have the sequel that was pretty much decades in the making. The second Gladiator movie, Gladiator 2. Ridley Scott returned here to the world he created, and I don't think he missed a beat. This movie had a lot to prove. You know, the first movie was so classic, so epic, and so beloved that it'd be pretty hard for this movie to really live up to that. But I think Ridley Scott brought a lot of just polish and experience to this movie, and I think if people had not ever seen that first movie, they would like this one better. I love the Coliseum fights. This movie did things a little bit bigger than the first one, not necessarily better, but they did have a rhino. So, you know, I really enjoyed those. I thought everything was shot beautifully. Great performances from Denzel Washington, Pedro Pascal. You know, everybody really did a great job, and you know, that's why it's where it's at on the list.
There's something in the water.
What do you mean there's something in the
I don't know,
water?
there's just something in the fucking water.
Number 7, I have Alien Romulus. I thought it had everything that at least I look for in an Aliens movie. We got xenomorphs, face huggers, and then even some chilling, unexpected stuff peppered in there as well. I was even shouting at the screen in certain points. I really enjoyed this one.
We could have built the future together.
I don't think so.
The number 6 movie, Transformers 1, is almost as good as it gets when it comes to Transformers stuff. It was an unexpectedly great origin story for Optimus Prime and Megatron. I thought the animation style was unique. The action was great. Lots of Easter eggs for the fans in there. And if they ever drop a sequel, I'll definitely check that out.
If you find him,
My
he's
number
mine.
5 movie is Furiosa. I really enjoyed it. It's not as great as that Mad Max Fury Road, but it was still pretty badass. You can sign me up for post-apocalyptic vehicular combat any day of the week. I thought it was shot beautifully. Anya Taylor-Joy was awesome, but part of me wishes that they maybe de-aged Charlize Theron a little bit and brought her back. Chris Hemsworth was almost the best thing about the movie, and I love that George Miller has a whole other set of Mad Max films so long after the first set. I even checked his IMDb, and he has another one on deck, Mad Max Wasteland. Definitely checking that one out too.
What's they're fighting for? Someone's trying to kill us. We are trying
So
to
another intense movie was my number 4 movie, Civil War. I thought it was the perfect movie for the political climate at the time. It tackles the topic of a modern civil war and everything that could take place with one of those, except it's from the perspective of the press, and they're doing everything that they can to get their story, to get that perfect shot, including putting themselves in danger. Kirsten Dunst was impressive. I don't think I had ever seen her in a serious role before. She was great. Callie Spiney's character was super annoying, and she was the reason for a lot of the problems the characters faced. It had great, impactful appearances from Jesse Plemons and Nick Offerman, and man, that ending. Quiet Place Day 1 is my number 3 pick. I thought it was a great entry to the saga. It's a prequel to the original 2 Quiet Place movies. Lupita Nyong'o and Joseph Quinn were pretty much stellar in the movie. Joseph Quinn is really kind of standing out to me this year, and I can't wait to see him as Johnny Storm in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. He was also in Gladiator 2 and killed it there too. Lupita Nyong'o always kills it, anything I see her in. The monsters here were relentless and caused all the tension, knowing that if any of these characters made any noise, they'd be immediately just decimated by them. I thought the ending was just spectacular and emotional, and Michael Sarnowski did a great job filling in for John Krasinski with director duty. I wasn't familiar with his work prior to this movie, but he's definitely somebody that I'll keep an eye on going forward. And I can't wait to see more of what they do with this franchise should they make more films like this.
Fuck yeah, I'm ready. I'm the Wolverine.
If you're familiar with this channel, then you know there's no way that Deadpool and Wolverine wasn't going to be on this list. I have him here at number 2. I thought this movie was so much fun. We finally got Wolverine in his comics accurate suit. I loved all the cameos, the alternate Wolverines and Deadpools, and some of the other characters that showed up. And I like how they chose which characters were going to show up. This movie felt like it took forever for them to come out with it, but it was well worth the wait. When I first heard that Hugh Jackman was coming back for this movie, I thought it was kind of a shame because Logan was the perfect swan song for him as that character. But if this also was his last time as Wolverine, I think it was equally as good of a swan song, and it could also serve as a good ramp up if they decide to bring him back for more Marvel movies. And Ryan Reynolds really showed up as Deadpool and did a great job, just like he always does. Bravo to everybody involved.
I do see a way. There is a narrow way through.
And my number 1 favorite movie that I saw in 2024 was Dune 2. Everything with Dune 2 was just top notch and better than the first one. Sound design and cinematography, the action. You can't tell me it wasn't cool seeing those sandworms going to work. And I felt like the story in this one was a lot more engaging. I can't wait for part 3, and I'm excited about just Denis Villeneuve as a director in general. He seems like he has a lot of great things going on, great ideas, and I can't wait to see what he does next. So that's my list, but I want to see your picks. Let me know what I got wrong. What movies did I miss? Put it all in the comments, and you can check out another one of my videos right here.